Rain lashed the skyscraper's glass walls, a relentless roar that echoed the turmoil within Elena Voss. At 42, she ruled Voss Enterprises, her name carved in steel, her life a fortress of ambition. Her office, perched atop the city, was a sterile sanctuary of marble and glass, its silence broken only by the storm. A crystal tumbler of whiskey sat untouched on her desk, its amber glow catching the flicker of neon lights below. Beside it lay a worn red crayon and a child's note, its scrawled words raw and piercing. "You look sad." "I'm sorry." The paper trembled in her hand, its edges rough as memory. Elena stood, heels sharp against the floor, her reflection stark in the rain-smeared window. Pale skin, sharp cheekbones, eyes hollowed by years of buried pain stared back. She'd built an empire to escape her past. Foster homes, loss, a heart locked away. Yet this child's gesture had slipped through her defenses, stirring something she'd long silenced. The crayon's red wax, chipped like a scar, felt alive, a spark in her cold world. Her phone buzzed, a text from her assistant slicing the silence. "Community center event tomorrow. Board insists you attend." Elena's lips curled in disdain, a publicity stunt to soften her ruthless image after layoffs. She loathed crowds, charity, vulnerability. But the crayon's weight in her pocket pulled her toward the event, not for the board, but for the child who'd seen her invisible grief. The storm raged, mirroring her unrest, as she tucked the note away, her fingers lingering on its truth. A shadow flickered in the corner of her vision. A small figure, gone in an instant. Her pulse quickened, the crayon warm in her hand, as the night promised secrets yet to unravel. The community center loomed like a forgotten relic, its faded bricks crumbling under a gray drizzle. Elena stepped from her sleek car, her tailored coat damp, the red crayon a hidden weight in her pocket. Eyes followed her, locals with wary curiosity, reporters with hungry lenses. She was the CEO who'd slashed jobs, now playing savior. Her smile was a practiced mask, but her fingers tightened around the crayon, searching the crowd for a child with eyes bold enough to write that note. Inside, chaos reigned. Children's laughter clashed with clattering paint cans, the air thick with coffee and damp wood. Elena's head pounded, her world of order disrupted. A volunteer, Clara, offered a name tag, her smile warm but guarded. "Here for the art program?" she asked, eyes probing. Elena nodded, her gaze drawn to a table where children painted, their hands smeared with color. A boy, no older than 8, stood out, his dark hair falling over fierce eyes. He clutched a crayon box, his stare locking onto hers with unsettling clarity. "You're the news lady," he said, voice soft but sharp, like a blade wrapped in cotton. He slid a drawing across the table, a red heart cracked down the middle. "Fix it," he demanded, his tone a challenge. Elena's breath caught. The crayon in her pocket burned, its red matching the heart's jagged lines. She wasn't here to fix anything, yet his gaze, his drawing, felt like a thread to her past, pulling tight. A tray of paint cans crashed, shattering the moment. The boy vanished into the crowd, leaving his drawing, and a new note tucked beneath it. Elena's fingers grazed the new note, its crumpled edges sharp. "You're not like them." "Why?" The childish scrawl cut deeper than the first, its accusation raw. She scanned the buzzing center, but the boy was gone, a ghost in the chaos of laughter and flashing cameras. The cracked heart drawing lay before her, its red lines bleeding into the paper like a wound she couldn't name. Clara guided her to a corner table, her smile tight. "You look pale, Ms. Voss," she said, voice laced with concern or suspicion. Elena sat, sorting crayons mechanically, her mind a storm. The boy's words echoed, peeling back layers of a life she'd buried. Foster homes, stolen dreams, a heart sealed shut. She'd built Voss Enterprises to escape that girl, to become unbreakable. Yet this child saw through her, his note a mirror to her hidden sorrow. Her fingers found the red crayon in her pocket, its warmth stirring a memory. A young girl drawing alone, her crayons a fleeting refuge until they were snatched away. Clara's voice droned about budget cuts, But Elena's eyes locked on a small box on the table, its lid engraved with a red heart. It matched the boy's drawing, a pulse in the chaos. Her hand reached for it, instinct overriding caution, but Clara's grip stopped her. "That's private," she said, voice cold, pulling the box away. The air shifted, heavy with secrets, as a faint rattle came from inside. A whisper, almost a voice. The box held answers, and Elena would not let it slip away. The whisper clung to Elena, a ghostly echo. "Find me." The boy's absence was a void, his notes and drawing a map to a truth she couldn't grasp. She slipped away from Clara's watchful eyes, into a dim hallway lined with children's artwork. Colors bled across the walls, but one drawing stopped her. A red heart, cracked, with a tiny figure holding a crayon, signed Toby. The air smelled of dust and paint, the flickering lights casting shadows that moved like memories. Elena's past surged. A foster home, her drawings hidden under a bed, torn apart by cruel hands. She'd vowed never to be that vulnerable again. Yet Toby's notes were breaking her open. Her fingers gripped the crayon in her pocket, its red wax a lifeline. She needed to find him, to know why he saw her pain. A soft scuff broke her thoughts. The hallway was empty, but tension coiled in her gut. Clara stood near the exit, the red heart box under her arm, her face unreadable. "Who's Toby?" Elena asked, voice low. Clara shrugged, eyes flickering. "A kid. Comes and goes." The lie was thin, and Elena's instincts flared. The box, the notes, Toby, they were connected, a puzzle she was meant to solve. A child's laugh echoed, sharp and fleeting, as a red crayon rolled across the floor, stopping at her feet. Elena lifted the crayon, its worn surface a twin to the one in her pocket, heavy with meaning. The laugh faded, but the hallway pulsed with secrets. Clara was gone, the box with her, and the center's noise dimmed as the event ended. Toby wasn't just a child. He was a reflection of her buried self, his notes a deliberate trail. She pushed through the back door into an alley, the air sharp with rain and rust. The city loomed, distant and cold, but the alley felt alive, a stage for truth. A small figure darted behind a dumpster, dark hair catching the faint light. "Toby," Elena called, her voice raw. Silence answered, but a paper fluttered in a puddle. She snatched it up, its ink smudging. "You forgot how to draw. I'll show you." Her heart raced. The words were his, pulling her deeper into his game. She moved into the alley, heels sinking in gravel, her red scarf a vivid streak in the gloom. A man, Marcus, stood near the dumpster, pale and nervous. "You looking for someone?" he asked, eyes darting. Elena nodded, showing the note. His face tightened, but he said nothing, glancing at the shadows. The alley darkened, clouds swirling, as another note fluttered from behind the dumpster, its red ink glowing faintly. Toby was close, and so was the truth. The alley's end was a graveyard of art supplies, broken brushes, spilled paint, a red glow pulsing faintly. Elena's hand shook as she read the new note. "You're close. Don't stop." The words were urgent, smudged by rain. Marcus trailed her, his unease palpable, shadows stretching across the wet gravel. She ignored him, her focus on a side door where Clara's silhouette appeared, clutching the red heart box, its engraving glinting. Elena's past flickered. A man in a suit, crumpling a note, walking away, a red heart fading in his wake. Her childhood, her loss, Toby's face. It was all converging. She strode toward Clara, determination burning through her fear. The door creaked open, revealing the center's dim interior, the box's glow casting eerie shadows. Clara's face was guarded, her grip on the box tight. "You shouldn't be here," she said, voice low. Elena's eyes locked on the box. It held Toby, his notes, her past. She wouldn't back down. The air thrummed with tension, the red heart pulsing like a heartbeat, drawing her closer to a truth she wasn't sure she could face. The box's glow intensified, promising answers or danger. The storage room was a claustrophobic maze of shelves, dust swirling in the dim light. Clara clutched the red heart box, her hands trembling as Elena's eyes bore into her. The air was thick with the scent of old paint and secrets, tension crackling between them. Another note lay in Elena's hand. "Draw with me. You'll remember." Its words were a command, a key to a door she'd locked long ago. She stepped closer, her voice steady. "Who's Toby?" Clara's gaze flickered, fear and guilt warring in her eyes. "A kid who left things," she said, voice tight. "Drawings, notes, for people like you." Elena's heart pounded. Her past surged. A foster home, a boy named Toby sharing crayons, his smile a light in her darkness. He'd vanished in a fire, and she'd buried him with her grief, building an empire to escape. She lunged for the box, but Clara's grip tightened, her wrist catching Elena's. Their struggle was brief, fierce, the box hitting the floor with a crack. Its lid split, spilling a faint red glow, shadows swirling inside. Elena's breath caught, her hand reaching for the light, knowing it held Toby's truth and her own. The glow pulsed, a whisper rising from the box, calling her name. The cracked box glowed, casting eerie shadows across the dusty shelves. Elena knelt, peering inside, her heart racing. A drawing lay within, a red heart, two figures holding hands, the woman's face mirroring her own. Her breath stopped. It was her and Toby, young, laughing, crayons between them. A photograph confirmed it. Young Elena and Toby, smiling, a red crayon shared. Memories flooded. His warmth, the fire, his hand slipping from hers as flames roared. Clara slammed the box shut, her face pale. "You weren't supposed to see," she whispered. Elena stood, defiant. The note crumpled in her fist. "He was real," she said, voice breaking. "He died, but he's here." Clara's eyes softened. "Toby left gifts, notes, drawings for those who need them. He chose you." Elena's mind reeled. Was he a ghost, a memory, a miracle? It didn't matter. He'd found her. She pushed into the main hall, the center empty, her red scarf stark against the dim light. A child's shadow flickered on the wall, holding a red crayon, then vanished. The truth was close, but it came with a cost she wasn't sure she could pay. The empty hall was a cathedral of silence, the air heavy with paint and memory. Elena stood at the art table, Toby's cracked heart drawing before her. The note's words burned. "Draw with me. You'll remember." She picked up a red crayon, its wax smooth, and began to draw. A heart took shape, whole and vibrant, her hand moving with a freedom she'd forgotten. Memories surged, Toby's laughter, their shared crayons, the fire that stole him. She'd buried that girl, that pain, to survive, but Toby was pulling her back. Clara watched, her face soft. "He knew you'd come," she said. Elena's tears fell, the crayon steady in her hand. She'd been the lonely CEO, untouchable, but Toby's gift had cracked her open. The box, now on the table, hummed faintly, its red glow pulsing. She finished the heart, vibrant and alive, a tribute to Toby, to herself. The lights flickered, and a child's voice sang softly, "Draw the heart, and you'll see," urging her toward a final truth. The box's red glow enveloped Elena, warm and alive, a heartbeat in the dim hall. The child's voice, "You're ready," echoed in her soul, not her ears. She pried the box open, its lid groaning, revealing a stack of drawings, each with a red heart, signed Toby. At the bottom was a photograph. Young Elena and Toby, smiling, a red crayon between them. Her tears fell, tracing his face. He'd been her light in a foster home, lost to a fire she'd escaped. She'd buried him, her guilt, her heart, to build her empire. Clara stepped forward, voice gentle. "Toby left these for you. He knew you'd return." Elena's voice broke. "How?" Clara's eyes were sad. "His heart finds those who need it." Elena's world, her power, her isolation, crumbled. She'd sacrificed her heart to survive, but Toby's gift demanded she feel again. She grabbed a crayon, drawing a whole heart, its red wax vibrant, a release of decades of pain. The box glowed brighter, Toby's whisper rising, promising a truth that could. The red glow pulsed, wrapping Elena in warmth. Toby's whisper, "You're ready," was a beacon, guiding her through the pain. She stood, photograph and drawing in hand, the hall silent but alive with possibility. Clara watched, her face torn between awe and fear. "What did you see?" she asked. Elena couldn't answer, not yet. She was rewriting her life, shedding the CEO's armor for something raw, real. At the art table, she drew. A girl and boy, laughing, free, surrounded by color. Her hands moved with a forgotten ease, the wax gliding, the paper alive. Toby had shared his crayons then, and now his heart, pulling her back from the abyss. She'd run from her grief, built an empire to hide, but he'd seen her. "I was lost," she whispered, tears streaming. "You found me." Clara's voice was soft. "You're different now." Elena nodded. Voss Enterprises wasn't her legacy, Toby was. She'd fund the center, protect it, give children what she'd lost. It was a sacrifice, her reputation, her control, but it was worth it. The lights surged, a child's red handprint appearing on her drawing, glowing with promise. The handprint pulsed, a seal on Elena's drawing, Toby's final gift. The hall thrummed with the scent of wax and memory, alive with his presence. She'd found him, or he'd found her, reclaiming the girl she'd buried. The fire, the loss, the guilt, they no longer owned her. She was free, her heart whole. Clara touched her arm. "You'll save the center?" Elena's voice was steady. "For him. For me." She'd redirect funds, fight the board, make the center a haven. The crayon in her pocket was warm, Toby's heart beating within her. A final note slipped from the box. "You're not sad anymore. Thank you." Elena faced the board of Voss Enterprises, the red crayon in her pocket a quiet strength. The boardroom's glass walls reflected the city's pulse, but she was no longer its captive. "We're funding the center fully," she said, voice iron. The board erupted, protests of profit, risk, but Elena's resolve was unbreakable. Toby's heart, his notes, his drawings, had shown her a truth worth more than her empire. She thought of the photograph, Toby's smile, the girl she'd been. She'd buried that girl to survive, but Toby had brought her back, his crayon a key to her heart. The center would be his legacy, a place where no child felt unseen. She'd sacrifice her reputation, her control, everything. A board member lingered, curious. "Why, Elena?" Her smile was soft, her hand on the crayon. "Someone taught me to feel again." She left, steps light. Elena framed the new drawing, its red heart a star in her office. The skyscraper was no longer a cage, but a window to a world she was reshaping. Voss Enterprises thrived, but the center was her soul. She taught children weekly, sharing crayons, sharing Toby's gift. Each stroke of color healed her, a tribute to the boy who'd seen her sadness. Her phone glowed with messages, gratitude from families, kids, volunteers. "Thank you, Toby," she whispered, touching the crayon on her desk. The city sparkled beyond, rain gone, stars bright. She was home, not in a place, but in herself. Her story spread, inspiring others to see, to share, to draw. As she looked out, a red heart glowed in the sky, then faded, its light eternal in her heart. Elena's future was rewritten, a masterpiece of love and color.